Oh, what is the hockey guy doing now? You're supposed to be doing an Islanders video. No. So I've talked about who's going to make the playoffs and who isn't. So let's talk about where teams are right now. What I mean by this, rebuilding, on their way up, at the top. Oh, they're starting to come down. You got that? Start with the easy one, the Avalanche. They're rebuilding. Start with another easy one, the Canucks. Rebuilding. Now, depending on who you ask, the Red Wings are either down here or they're rebuilding. Based on their current financial issues with the fact they have no cap space to add anybody, I think they're at that end. So they were at the top for a very long time, and now they've fallen. It doesn't mean they're in rebuild, though. Management may not see it that way. Sort of like these guys didn't see it that way a year ago. Now we get into the tough ones. Montreal, to me, are right down about here. I really think that their blue line, it's going to come down to their blue line. This doesn't mean that it's forever. So if anybody's like, oh, you're just saying Montreal's going to fall and going to suck. No, I'm saying that where they are right now is here. Next year they could be here. But for me, that's where they are right now. Carolina, I'll put them in the climbing category. I think they're on their way. Buffalo, I'll put them right along with Carolina. Minnesota, I think is just below and right about midway. So they're close. They were close this past season, and they're about halfway through with this core of being able to do that. San Jose, I think, is also in this position where they're on the downslide, and it's going to take a lot of work to keep them at the top. Florida really, I'm going to put them here. Because are they improving? Was this past season a sign that they're on their way down? They've got some question marks at forward, and their goaltending, we don't know really. Is Luongo declining? Is Reimer going to be the answer? We don't know yet. So for me, they're right in the middle. The Oilers are right here. They're just starting. And right behind them are the Leafs. The Leafs are right there with them. Dallas is probably right about here. Dallas doesn't really qualify as climbing as much, but because of the fact they added Ben Bishop, there's a belief they're getting better. Notice I'm kind of qualifying that. It's sort of like how I was all gung-ho, and then I looked at the rosters and went, I don't know. I don't know if Dallas has really made themselves better. Vegas, I'm going to put them right here because we don't know what Vegas is yet. We're not really sure. And until we know, they're sitting right there. The Blues, I'm going to put them right even with the Wild. It's the same situation. And they really honestly would be at the same point on this graph. But I can't do that because then St. Louis would be below Minnesota, and then St. Louis fans are going to be upset. Ottawa, right in that middle too. So maybe they can get up, maybe they drop. It's hard to say. Arizona, I'm gonna say they're slowly, cautiously happy about getting out of the rebuild. Notice rebuild's down here. Rebuild has Jersey in it. I think Jersey's gonna start getting better, but I think they're still in a rebuild mode. Columbus, I honestly think they're further along in that some of their core is older. But I really think they're going to be up there for a while. Pittsburgh's almost right at the edge. But they're star guys, Crosby, Malkin, are still young enough that they can at least get a year or two before they have to start thinking about changing things. Anaheim, right in there, they're higher up than these two, and they're just as far along as Pittsburgh. You know what? Maybe a little further along. This might be Anaheim's last chance. And then they're precariously close to this perch here. The Capitals are right below Montreal because they lost a lot in the offseason. And they had to struggle to get under the cap. So they're going to have a hard time. Boston, I see Boston as up and coming. And I'll put them right underneath Dallas. Because there's some good young pieces coming up in Boston. I know they made the playoffs this past season, but I think with the amount of prospects they have, some of them have to be really good. You look at McAvoy, for instance. McAvoy looks like he's a keeper. Carlo's been very good too, so there's a lot to like. Calgary, I'm going to put as being partway along. I would probably have them closer to the Dallas end in that they're still young. They're further along than the Oilers, but I don't see them as being in the same contenders position as the Oilers. The Hawks are right at the edge. They're right on the verge of this for me. I don't know how much longer you can defy gravity with a roster that's always right up near the cap. And eventually some of these player moves are going to bite them, but they're not there yet. So I'll say one more year, much like for Anaheim. Philly, I'm going to put right in here. And I have them ahead of Carolina, even though Carolina I'm projecting to make the playoffs, because Philly, I'm excited about their youth. I love Konechny up front. I think either Stollers or one of their other rookie goaltenders is going to come in. I'm not psyched about Elliott as much as others may be. But that blue line and some of those rookies they're going to put in there in the next year or two, I really think Philly's got an exciting future going for them. The Islanders are right about here. I don't know, and a lot of it depends on Tavares. They're kind of in a holding pattern. Does Tavares sign long-term? If so, I'd probably move them up to around where St. Louis is. They're not a contender, but they're in there. Nashville, I'll equate them with Columbus. They shouldn't be higher than Columbus, but I'll equate them with Columbus. There's a lot to like. There's some question marks there, but I think they stay near or at the top of the league. The Lightning, I really think, even though they missed the playoffs by a point this past season, the end of the season that they had with a hurt roster shows how good they can be, and I really think this year they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. I really do. The Rangers, I'll equate them to the Ducks. Okay? Probably their last kick at the can with this core. And I mean Lundqvist and Rick Nash. McDonough has got some years left. But for the Rangers, I know Rangers fans don't like to hear it, and I know they get upset when people say it, but for me, I really think they could fall. The Kings are right down here with the Capitals. I don't think they did enough to improve this year. I think Camilleri was a step backwards in that he's not going to make you faster or younger. The Kings needed to get faster and younger, and they didn't. And the Jets, for my money, are right with Philly. Like, it's going to be interesting to see which one becomes a contender first. So there you go. And there you go. 31 teams, 31 spots in the chart. Just a fun little thing I came up with. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And this is the fun part about the summer. We can play with this and see who's where. So let me know why I'm wrong in the comment section below, as people often do. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.